pranams to all of the devotees. Whew, what a day, what a last 24 hours it has been. I am broadcasting live here on behalf of the Seva Ashram, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Seva Ashram in Soquel. I am currently in Palm Springs visiting a devotee and working on some music projects, creating music with Krishna conscious words and lyrics to be shared with everybody, and mainly as a preaching activity. And so I have been here to focus on that. Whew. But we have just received some very, very serious news, as you know. And I was just on a Zoom call, which you may all have access to, with all of the devotees from Latin America and different parts of the world, and with Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Kushum Ashram Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Vijay Trivikram Maharaj, and Srila, I don't remember his full, because he's recent sannyasi, Puri Maharaj. I will remember his full name. My Dandavat pranams to them and to all the devotees that were there. And they were, they were speaking about Acharya Maharaj's passing. And so I wanted to speak about that today. And before we begin, I just want to offer my dandavats to all of you who are watching from wherever you are in the world. If you could please let me know, where are you? Where are you in the world? Who is here? Please go ahead and comment in the comment section where you are watching from. I would love to know, because it's really important right now to stay together, to be together, and to really feel that connection that we have as a global family. Excuse me, I'm just removing this earring. I feel it might be disturbing the microphone. So here we have Dayavati Devi Dasi, Rukmini Devi Dasi, Neelam Bell, Tarmoy Devi Dasi. Neelam is, Nandarani, Madhurani, Marco Bruno, Dandavats, Pranakrishna, Dandavad, and Gopinath Das. Iowa, you're in Iowa, Pranakrishna, Marco Bruno, Santa Cruz, and yes, Murari Krishna, thank you so much for reminding me your non-Facebook name. Thank you for being here this evening. Unfortunately, I don't have their lordships in the background. I have this beautiful place here in the background being used in service. Leela Sundari Devi Dasi from Oregon, thank you so much for being here. Wow. If I cry, just cry with me. Don't cry, whatever. It's a very sad time. But it also is a very serious time. Serious in the sense of our conviction to engage in Sri Harinam Sankirtan. And so I just want to take a moment. Gurva Bista Supurakam Guru Ganeda Shisha Sambhushitam Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Pantanugam Govinda Bidamujvalam Varadanum Bhakti Anvitam Sundaram Bande Vishwa Gurun Chadevya Bhagavat Prem Nohi Bijapradam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I have not memorized Srila Acharya Maharaj's pranam mantra. I'm not sure why, but that will be on my list for all of us to memorize if you haven't already. So I feel a little weird that I would like to recite his mantra in this moment, but I don't have it memorized. But offering all glories to Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj and his divine service and his mood, his example, and everything he's done for our mission. And I want to speak a couple of things. There are many things that I want to share and say that I've been meditating on over the last 24 hours. I've been in a bit of a swoon from this news, and I can imagine all of you must also be feeling overwhelmed in your own ways and devastated. And I can say that now I can say that I have, our senior devotees, they have experienced the passing of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, of Srila Prabhupada, of Srila Govinda Maharaj. And now I can say that I've also experienced the passing of Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj. And there were some things that I've observed from the last passing away, the last 11 years, that I felt were extremely important to share here today. Because this window of time that we have right now, he just passed, is extremely important to capitalize on, if you will. If there's anything we are to be greedy for, it is greed for the cultivation of our sadhana bhakti, the hearing of Krishna Gauda Katha, and the speaking of Krishna and Gauda Katha. And greed is something we generally avoid or know to shun as one of the, gateways, if you will, or like deadly sins, if you will, right? One of the defects. But when applied to Krishna consciousness, this concept of greed, its purified state is lolium, hankering. And this hankering that we're experiencing right now is like a magnet for mercy. So it is extremely important that we capitalize on the opportunity that we have to magnetize and attract the blessings of our Guru Varga during this moment, because we have this divine sentiment and hankering happening within us right now, and that must be engaged. Of course, we want some time to mourn and to lament, but not to stay still with that and take that nowhere. It is extremely important that we take that mourning, that hankering, that sadness, and run it into the stream of Krishna Katha, Gauda Katha, hearing and chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Padasevanam, all of this, we must be extra sensitive to make sure that our mind is not capturing, absorbing, or chewing on anything mundane. Please let that sit and understand that the portal, I know this sounds like some weird hippie alien thing, but the portal is open. And what you are going to do with that opportunity is up to you. And what I am saying is that the best thing you can do with this opportunity right now is to absorb your mind in hearing and chanting and remembering. Fasting from mundane sound and mundane activities, and praying to the Vaishnav for the spiritual desires that you have. Because right now there is an added blessing showering happening on the planet. And we have to capitalize on that. We have to be greedy to receive that. Because guess what? This right here is what we're going to have with us for the rest of our lives. For the next 10 years, for the next 11 years. And I'm going to be real blunt about something. Our Vaishnavas, our guardians, they're leaving the planet. They are leaving the planet. Do you understand this? We have to capitalize on that, because this is what we're going to take with us for the rest of our lives and what we're going to take with us into the next life. Do not take this lightly, what I'm saying. Anyone else may disagree with me. A sannyasi may have a different mood and expression, and that is all great. But I remember how I felt when Srila Gurudev passed. And I remember presenting this, and this is to no criticism or no fault of anybody. But I remember presenting how I felt when Gurudev passed away to some of my guardians, my guides. And the response that I had gotten was, well, the devotees need some time for mourning. The devotees need to really sit with this. And because of that, I felt like I withdrew, or like I paused, or like I allowed this flame of hankering and desire and service vision and desire to be dimmed by that instruction. And so what I'm saying is I don't care what anybody else says, because I understand what that did for me and what it also could have done. And so I don't want to make that same mistake now. And I want everyone to understand this perspective of what happens when you lose a Vaishnav. And one by one, they are leaving, especially with the accelerated tornado of death coming in the form of this COVID, right? And one thing is for sure that, that I've experienced. When Gurudev left, I observed like time going by faster, death getting closer, the miseries encroaching even quicker. And this is evident. And we know that when the Vaishnavas leave, some catastrophic event happens. And what's happening is that the norm is catastrophe. And it's only going to increase. And I'm not here to be a pessimist, but I'm here to remind us that we have very powerful ammo. We have very powerful protection and shield and strategy. And that strategy is the spreading of the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. That war we are fighting is a totalitarian war against, I don't want to say against Maya, because Maya is actually serving Krishna. So against the illusion of being separate from Krishna and that we are the doer. And it is also our weapon, it is our medicine, right? In the Bhagavad Gita, the ladle is Brahman, the fire is Brahman, the oblations are everything is Brahman. Okay, you can call me a fanatic or cuckoo for Sankirtan, and I don't care. But I understand that that is the solution and the protection for all of us. And so now this current of our sampradaya, I wanted to ask this question on the live stream. We will come to understand more and more about how this is being revealed in a more, maybe societal, structural, organizational way. But what I do know is that this current is existing within the hearts of each and every one of you, each and every one of us. And it is our duty and responsibility to recognize that we are soldiers. And we have our lieutenants, our acharyas that are still with us. And we have our co-soldiers, right? The devotees, our God brothers and God sisters. And, we have to understand that when a Vaishnav leaves, these catastrophes of the planet, death is closer. The hands of time are moving faster. The wheel of death is spinning more powerfully. And the way we counteract and balance all of that is by engaging in Harinam Sankirtan and Krishna Katha. So whatever tears you have, whatever mourning, whatever sadness, grab your japa and chant. Read the scriptures. Go live and talk about Krishna. Doesn't have to be on the Mott website. It can be on your Instagram. It can be on your social media. Give somebody else the opportunity to come in contact with this deep mood that you're experiencing right now, and the deep love and expanded gratitude and dedication and commitment to your spiritual practice that you might be experiencing right now. That mood that is within you, that even the sadness is like an agent for transmitting the potency. Just like sometimes, right, oil is used to extract medicine, right, and it's distributed through oil, or alcohol, right? It's an agent. These moods that we're experiencing are agents for growth. And so, and this is a simple example is, the life of an artist, of a musician, of a singer. I am a singer, I am an artist, I am a vocalist. And so, you don't not make music because you're sad. That's the best time to go in the studio and record, because you have so much to say and express. So express it through singing and dancing in the spirit of Harinam Sankirtan, whatever you have to do. And why this is extremely valid and resonant and actually quite fitting and appropriate for the passing of Srila Acharya Maharaj is because this is his example and has been his mood and example, that there is no time to waste and that we must go. He went full force into spreading the holy name. If any of you ever visited Sri Navadvip Dham during Gaur Purnima, when, he was present, when Govinda Maharaj was present, you saw hundreds of thousands of villagers sleeping in the corridors, sleeping in the cement, sleeping under the buildings, sleeping everywhere. Because they heard about the holy name through him. Hundreds of thousands of pilgrims. He wasn't thinking, oh, death will come another day. I have time to relax. He was thinking, I must share this with everybody and spread this right here, right now. And if you read any of his quotes or see any of his videos, this is his sentiment. Even his very embodiment in his divine form was very fast talking, no time to waste, multitasking. There was some time where I was his secretary with Tyagi Maharaj. And it was a very beautiful time of being in service with him as his secretary, helping him to manage correspondence and the activities of the Dham and helping him to manage several things. And I remember what it was like to be in his presence, where in the middle of a conversation and a devotee comes in to ask a question, we have to pause, pick up where we left off, then his phone rings and someone else has a question, and then someone else walks in with a concern. He was managing the devotees, the agriculture, the construction of the buildings, the spreading of the holy name, the preaching programs and activities, what to speak of the divine festivals that he organized, the village preaching programs, the political things, he managed so much. One person managed so much. And we know how he spoke. His mood was, get up and go. Shut up. I remember he would say something like, yeah, everybody is just sitting and sleeping and farting in their rooms, right? Like, what are we doing? And so, 11 years have gone since Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj left. And I remember when he left, I felt this like, let's go. Let's go. Let's get up. Let's spread this holy name, even if it's just amongst each other. Let's speak about Krishna. Let's get it together. We are a global army. We are a global mission. We're not divided. It's not, the Seva Ashram, and it's a conflict of interest to serve another mission if you're in this mission and I'm in this mission. No, we are one global team on this planet. We have been hit with the wave of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. We are one team. The more that we can be together on the Zoom calls, the more that we can organize preaching programs, the more we can invite each other to speak, invite each other to interview each other and speak about Krishna and share with our local friends, the better we're going to feel during this very difficult, scary time. I remember, one devotee told me something Gurudev had said. He was watching the television, and I can imagine watching these like Malecha Asura politicians talking on the TV. And I don't know if you've experienced that. Like, you look at the politicians on the TV, and I've seen this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so obvious that this body is like some weird costume, and you're like here from the lower planetary regions, like stinking up the place, right? Like, I see that sometimes. I can only imagine what Gurudev's real vision is when he sees these, demonic personalities speaking. And so he was watching TV, some political, he would watch, and his vision is transcendental, so I cannot say. But obviously, whatever he does is transcendental, and he would sometimes flip through the channels or watch the news because he was, informed. And then he was watching it, and he said something along the lines, I am not presenting a perfect quote, but something along the mood of, I cannot tell or speak of what is coming through the tal, the lotus stem of this planet, the demonic personalities that are entering from the lower planetary systems into this world. I cannot even say what will come and the advancement of Kali Yuga and how severe that is. So it's not going to get better. You know? But we don't want to be so pessimistic. And we have every reason to not be pessimistic. We have a reason to be realistic and to recognize and understand that death, the wheels of time, they're spinning, and that our time is very short. So how can we capitalize and maximize our present moment? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, forget the past that sleeps, and ne'er the future dream at all, but act in times that are with thee, right here, right now, and progress thee shall call. So, dear devotees who are watching this, whether you're watching live, whether you are watching the replay, please trust Guru within, Chaita Guru within. And how you develop that internal connection with Guru within is by engaging in Hari Katha. I know this from experience. I once had Srila Govinda Maharaj tell me personally, I want you to develop your internal relationship with me. And I had just come in to give dandavats. We would always have these conversations. I'd come in and he'd say things and we'd have a conversation. And he'd spontaneous, right? And sometimes planned, or sometimes the desire was there and I was too shy. And then, you know, mystical things would happen. And the way that we develop our internal relationship is by sitting still, engaging in Hari Katha, engaging in service, and asking those questions and listening. Trust the inspiration you get for preaching. Trust the vision you get for preaching. Gurudev told me one time, keep your vision. So make it your life's project, knowing how short time is, knowing that our acharyas are leaving, knowing that we are the carriers of this Mahaprabhu's movement. We are the agents and representatives. We are the soldiers that are responsible for sharing this. If you want to fulfill your life's desires, your life's purpose, whatever that is, it can all be fulfilled in service to the holy name. I'll tell you right now, from experience, this is a material desire. Oh, buy a pool with this beautiful hammock in the desert, in a city of really beautiful people, right? Surrounded by so much opulence and fancy cars and this and that. That's a material experience. And guess what's happening? These people are sitting in this courtyard hearing about Krishna, being exposed to Krishna consciousness for the first time, and this is why I came here, right? Whatever material desires you have in this life, make it your life's mission and project to fulfill your full potential by moving, shifting, pushing those desires and aligning them with the service mission at hand, which is to Shravanam Kirtanam, absorb and hear and cultivate the holy name, and to share that with others. Everything will be fulfilled. How? Your particular details will be revealed to you, but make right now, in this window portal that we have, make your business plan, make your action plan, meditate, ask for the answers, ask for the revelations. How can I be in service? How can I align my vision? How can I align my purpose, my reason for being on this, my skills? How can I align them in service of the Lord? Because that's all we have. To the degree where, I'll speak for myself. I run my coaching business, and yes, I've introduced people to Krishna consciousness through that. But it's like, I don't want to over-endeavor for a business. I want my business to be the chanting and spreading of the holy name of Krishna. That is what I want my actual business to be. That is how I want to move, generate, create. This is all I want to do. I want to wake up in the morning and sing and chant and create music and do live streams and get on the and read and have my sadhana and serve the temples. So, and everything else can have. You can drive your Ferrari and live in your mansion and be engaged in service. Whatever your material desires are, they will be fulfilled like that. But first must come the alignment. You could, from an external perspective, look at Acharya Maharaj, right? Ooh, kind of comedy pratista, fully there. Fame, followers, wealth, leadership, all the things, right, are available to him. But how did they become available to him? For the service of Krishna. So, sometimes when we hear this, give up everything, and then we're like, oh, but my family, but I need to make money, and but but that dream that I have, great. Bring it all in. It is all welcome for the service of Krishna. So we have to shift our perspective and move, some people talk about how, we're moving into 5D. The planet is elevating its consciousness. And so if anyone knows how to do that, it's us, because of what we have. So elevate your consciousness. Stop working in the karma kanda, in the world of karma, and let's work in the world of Mahaprabhu by engaging everything we have, from your personal beauty to your connections, to your wealth, to your humble mood, to your cooking skills, everything. Start now, pray now, get those visions, get those answers, because you want to help Acharya Maharaj. You wish you could have been if you felt like a loser hearing that he left. Oh my gosh, how many of you feel like, oh, I didn't get to serve him, I didn't show up, I didn't ask him questions, it's not too late. And that window of opportunity, that foundation, you have the opportunity to build that foundation right here, right now, and build that internal connection with him by praying to him and asking him for the vision, for the revelation. He's here still. He's present. The echoes of his divine presence on this planet, his form, his, as Gurudev would say, gosht body, is very much still here. And he will speak to you. He will reveal. But you have to capitalize on that. Use that time. Sharpen those antennas. Clean that mirror of the mind. Get that, Chetodarpana Marjanam, cleansing the mirror of the mind. Clear that heart and sit down and receive the transmission. And allow yourself to develop your internal relationship with Srila Acharya Maharaj and quickly move to developing your current relationship with our acharyas that are still here. And, we don't want position in this world, etc., but quickly find your position in the service, so that as this material existence continues to advance with its miseries, we're not going to be confused about how we are serving and what is our lifeline. And guess what? They will be your handlers from the spiritual world, and you will be an agent, and you will receive movement and instructions. You will receive all the instructions. Excuse me. Oof, some music came on and that was very loud. Oh, I tapped my, whatever this is called. I will not tap it again. Oh my God, that hurt. So, whew, that was very loud. Yeah, I think that's really what I want to say, and it's extremely important that we stick together and that we don't sit on our laurels, right? That we don't kind of sit back thinking tomorrow it will, oh, one day, we must behave like there's no tomorrow. And I want to just go ahead and pause, and I'd like to ask if anybody has any questions, any comments. How are you all doing? How are you feeling? What is your desire? What is happening in your heart? If somebody can please type something in the comment section. I feel like I would like to, I can feel hearts. I can feel them thinking and feeling and having some light bulbs go off. And how can I support those light bulbs going off? How can I be of service to your heart right now? Please tell me, how can I serve you? How can I serve your heart? What questions do you have? Please type them in the comment section. I'd like to support you in whatever way that I can. I'm a nobody. Who cares? I just want to be in service. Just want to pause for a moment. The sun is setting now. Yeah, just with every rising and setting of the sun, our life is going. And we must align ourselves with the mission at hand. And our sadhana bhakti, our spiritual life, it's important that we completely stay focused on that. And more than anything, developing that internal relationship. As Gurudev once told me, and now is the window of time to cultivate. And do you guys have a clear idea of how you're going to do this? Please, those of you that are watching, do you have some idea of what I'm saying? Does it make sense to you? Do you know do you have the inspiration? Do you know what you want to do? I'm literally asking you this question. I'm not theoretically asking, does it make sense to you? Don't feel lost. Don't feel confused. It is very clear. It is very clear. And if you have some misery also in the material side of your life, maybe someone, you're suffering from not having enough finances or struggling to live, or you're ill or losing relatives, all of that can be slowly massaged, and the misery from that, the poison from that can be withdrawn by shifting it into the spiritual plane. Shift what you have. Don't think that you are too materialistic or it's too material of a topic or anything. No, everything must come. Everything is accepted. Everything is here to be healed and revolutionized and cleansed and purified and activated and loved and nurtured and nourished. All of you is welcomed and here to be nourished and nurtured and loved. This is Bhakti Yoga, my homies. This is Bhakti Yoga. It's about love. So don't feel confused. Don't feel sad. Don't feel lost. It's here for us to take it more seriously. This is why the Vaishnavas leave. One more training wheel has been removed. The sannyasis of our mission are buffering us and holding us in a little under their wings. They're protecting us. And each time one of them leaves, a training wheel comes off. Right? A training wheel comes off, and we are asked to practice more. We are asked to show up more. And that doesn't mean cut more potatoes and wash more dishes. And maybe if that's what that means for you, is to go to the temple and do more of that service, then go do that. But it just means what's most nourishing to you, spiritually speaking, do that with more dedication. If you're struggling in the material plane and need nourishment there, offer that to the Lord and ask for those answers. If your heart is burning with agony from this loss, right? Don't let illusion fool you. There is no loss. We've lost a training wheel. We've lost some protection. Not, in the light of this analogy, they're carrying us, but we have to eventually be able to also stand up on our own and be representatives of this for our own self-discipline. Because guess what? When we leave, where's our mind going to go? They're not going to come and be like, hello, think of Krishna, right? We have to be cultivating the grooves and the practice, the repetition, so that our mind goes there, our heart goes to Krishna at the time of our death. So practice nicely now. Create those grooves, those patterns in your brain, in your heart, in your mind, in your body. Okay, I'm going to read some of these. I'm so happy that there's some comment. Leela Sundari Devi Dasi is saying, thank you for your message. It really helps and it's so on point. Thank you. You're welcome. Happy to be of service. How can I be of more service? Please, like devotees, please feel supported and nurtured and nourished. He gave us everything and we have all of that, and he's going to continue being here with us as long as we engage, right? We must engage in what was his favorite thing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Right? I remember like looking at the way he would sing and chant and move his hands and so quick about Krishna. So speaking so quickly, no time to waste. So, you want to connect with him and feel his presence and feel his protection and his mood, then allow yourself to receive it because it's available to you. So, if you don't feel anything, if you don't feel like that's true, go cultivate that muscle and develop that taste and it will come to you. Trust me. Trust. And it's known to us and it's been given to us and it's said to us. If you don't have the taste, pray to have the taste. Right? Pray to have it. It will all come to you. Okay, Padma Bhati Devi Dasi is watching. Dandavat Pranams. And Prana Krishna Prabhu says, Dandavat Prana Krishna Prabhu, he says here, he said that if you know what Gurudev wants, what God wants, that's what you should do, and that is what I'm going to do. Faith has returned. So beautiful, Prana Krishna Prabhu. And please let me know how I can support you. You know, I'm here to be your cheerleader. I want each of Gurudev's soldiers to feel nurtured, seen, protected, safe, happy, together. You know, I would like to one day, you know, I am not a sannyasi, but I want to serve like the sannyasis do. That is my aspiration. I want all of you to feel nurtured and happy and wholesome and safe, and like you have a gang, you have your people, you have your crew, and this is where you go to get nurtured. This is where you go to get your faith. So, consider me your friend, your cheerleader. I want you all to feel protected, safe, together, clear, held. And how can I personally be of service? If you would like to message me privately and ask a question or receive some support or have a conversation, I just want to be of service because I know what it's like to feel alone and sad and devastated for this loss. And I also know that when this happened to me before, when Gurudev left, hearing chanting and listening and developing my connection with him was what saved me. And so now, from experience and from what I learned of Gurudev's passing, I know that I would have loved a best friend to help me through this. I know that I would have loved somebody to be telling everyone to come together and to chant together. There's no time to just be sitting and crying. We have to be in action. This action is going to make us stronger. It's going to boost our immune system. It's going to boost our connection to our Guru Varga. It's going to restore our faith. It's going to keep us nourished. The activity, how can I say this to you? But, Gurudev gave that instruction. I want you to develop your internal relationship with me. And because he said that to me, and if you've watched any of my other classes here on Facebook, I've said different things about what he said to me. And I've also said that anything he said to me, I've been meditating on it for 11 years and more. Those words are still revealing themselves to me. And just a few days ago, I was sitting here with the devotee that's hosting me, Shamakanta. And suddenly I began speaking Acharya Maharaj and remembering him and remembering his stories and how I was serving him and everything he said to me and our relationship and our friendship. And I haven't spoken to him since Gurudev left. I would do all my shenanigans. I'd crash a rickshaw and teenager in Navadweep, wiling out. He came and he tapped me on the head and be like, I will not tell Gurudev, no problem. You will not get in trouble. All the pastimes that I've had with Srila Acharya Maharaj. Oh my gosh, I can maybe share a little bit of that next, but I sat yesterday after I heard the news and I remembered everything I've learned. And so I understood that I just had to receive and allow Chaita Guru within to speak to me. And I know it's a very delicate subject, right? Because is it the mind? Is it really him? Is it really them? And in these times of separation, yes, it is really them. As to all the time, I cannot speak for you or anyone or myself because I cannot claim to have any connection. But I can tell you that in times of need and devastation and sadness and suffering, when I turn to Gurudev, answers and revelations and everything comes. And so knowing that, I sat yesterday in this why did I not speak to him? Why did I not memorize his pranam mantra? Why did I not call him to say, hey? Maybe it's disrespectful, but Acharya Maharaj was my friend. He was my homie. And what a bad homie I am, right? That I didn't. Anyway, so this kind of loophole of lamentation and I am foolish. And he's slapped me before and said, you foolish, right? And true. And so I very much felt his presence. And what I heard him saying was, just do. And now my job is finished. I got this very clear, don't cry. Don't cry. Why you are crying? That was very difficult, right? His service was very difficult. And knowing his mood, I can only imagine, and this is me. I am not claiming to know anything and to be presenting his proper sentiment, but I can only imagine, knowing his character, that his mood is, great, my job is now finished. I am free, right? Not that he would ever abandon his service, but more that you don't cry for me, because I am now free, and I am with you. Now don't talk, do. I got that. I am with you, do. Go. That's the message that I got. Very strongly, very strongly, very strongly. And then of course I go on Facebook and I see one of his quotes and he's talking about just doing and that we don't have time to waste. And I get these kinds of confirmations. So for those of you that question your connection and that don't feel like it's real or don't feel, I see you, Leela Sundari. Yes, I'll drop the link to my Facebook profile. I'll write it in the comments section right now very quickly. If you find Vaidehi Amir on Facebook, this is my first and last name. You can find me there. And then I'll paste my link later. I can also try to find you later. But any of the devotees that feel like they would like to confide, express their heart and confidence, please message me. Please write me. We can arrange for a Zoom conversation. I don't care what it is. I just want to support your hearts and be of service. And, right now, my operation as an agent and soldier, which honestly, I very much feel that is my only thing in this world, is to nurture all of you. I am not a sannyasi, I am nobody, and I don't care what the story is. Because I know what my Gurudev gave me, and I know what I have, and I know the kind of servitor that I desire to be, and there's an instinct in me to protect and take care of the devotees. For whatever reason, it's there. And so it is my responsibility to be in service to your heart right now. So please receive that. And, let's get you on the fast track to feeling protected, sheltered, nourished, seen, heard, and to help you develop your relationship and connection. I grew up in this, and a lot of things that I experience, I take, sometimes people don't have those same things, and the perspectives or the understanding or, the lifetime of practice. And so if there's anything that I can do in any way that I can help you to clear whatever blockage and to see past whatever obstacle you have, I will be very happy to do that. So I'm going to look at this other, if there's something else. Yes, if your faith has returned, right? That's what we have. And, it is available to us. So it must not leave and go, right? So let's get us all on the fast track program to keep the wealth that we are being given. The wealth that we can actually take with us. We can actually take this wealth. We can actually take all of this with us. The kirtan, the chanting, the revelations, the connection to our guru. So quickly cultivate it now. Do it now. Prepare your savings account. Prepare your accounts, right? So collect as much mercy as you can. Confide in each other. Follow the 9 limbs of surrender, the sadhana practices. Even if it's for this window of time and then you fall off, that window of time will jumpstart you. And, I'm speaking about this as if it's like some product or some program. And you know what? Guess what it is? This is a program for revolutionizing your soul. And so let's look at it as such. Let's engage it. Let's have you feeling like a fully capable agent. Right? Not disconnected and lost. And if you get disconnected and lost, do you know just what to do, right? Like a double agent. There are times where they lose connection with their handler and they have to trust their instincts. They're in a foreign country in some tricky life or death situations. We're like, kind of like some double agents, the holy name, right? But we have to first receive the training ourselves. And that comes with learning, with teaching, with sharing, with confiding, with all that cultivation. So very important, auspicious time to be doing that now, despite in light of the devastation. Have some perspective. This is a devastating place, and it is going to continue being devastating. That is certain. But what else is certain is that Krishna consciousness is like, the holy name is like, Harinam Sankirtan is like, Krishna Katha is like, what's it called? Passive income. What's that income that keeps growing? I forget right now the terminology, I'm blanking, but it will continue to grow and multiply if you cultivate it. Passive recurring income. It never goes away, and it only grows the more you add to it. So let's get those spiritual bank accounts nice and wealthy, and let's recognize that wealth is something that we can tap into, whether we lose our Acharya, we still are connected to that wealth. And through that connection, they are here with us. Why are they always saying, I am always here with you? Because they really are. We must believe their words, and they come through those words. So get with that program. Practice. Let yourself sit and think and contemplate these things. Leela Sundari Devi Dasi says, for me, it's more that it doesn't feel real. What doesn't feel real exactly? Please, can you expand? Can you please say, exactly what is it that doesn't feel real? The passing of Srila Acharya Maharaj, the connection, the movement. I'd love to know if you can please elaborate. Then I can help. And then faith, and then okay. I'll see you, Prana Krishna. I'll relate to that in a moment. But Leela Sundari Devi Dasi, yes, his passing doesn't feel real. Guess what? You know why it doesn't feel real? I know this is going to suck to hear, but it's not real. He's still here. But yes, he has left his physical form. That is very real. Very real, for sure. And that's devastating. And he is not that body. And he is a mystic yogi that is still here. And you can tap into that. You can have that connection. And that connection is more real than his physical presence just being here and you not taking the opportunity to receive the reason he's here. So nothing has been lost. Nothing has been lost in our connection with him. He has left his physical form. Yes, that is devastating. But it is not real that he has left. Complete illusion. More than anything, it is a celebration and festival of the glory of the Vaishnav and the fact that we have Vaishnavs on this planet. And if you're following my stream of thought, then the tick, 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 it leads to the next thing, which is like, oh, we still have Vaishnavs on the planet. Right now I can talk to them and call them and speak to them. So get up and go get it, is what I'm saying. Go get it. It's still here. Go get it. Cry, lament, yes, but don't waste too much time with that. In the spirit of Acharya Maharaj, go get it. Call Janardhan Maharaj, call Avadut Maharaj, call Trivikram Maharaj. Speak to them, send them a message, connect with them, ask your questions. All the Vaishnavas around you, engage with them, interact with them, speak about Krishna. Get what you can. Because guess what? One day you're going to go too, and you're going to be like, what did I do? As you're in your ghost body, watching everything. I'd like to be in my ghost body going, cool, I'm ready for my next job. Right? So, Janame janame mor e abilas. Janame janame mora e abilas. Janame janame mora e abilas. Birth after birth after birth. May I be born in the household of the Vaishnavas. Set yourself up for that birth after birth until it's no longer necessary for you to get slapped by the lessons of Maya. Until you're no longer subscribed to the illusion that this physical world is more real than the spiritual world. So, as long as you think that this physical world is more real than the spiritual world, then Janame janame morae abilas, may I continue to be born in the household of the Vaishnavas. And right now, you are in the household of the Vaishnavas. This earth, Mother Bhumi, has a whole crew of soldiers of the Supreme Plane, lieutenant sergeants walking around in their saffron cloths. You are in the home of the Vaishnavas. So make the most of it. Nothing is lost. Make the most of it. Listen, receive, remember, smaranam. It's getting very dark. I'm wanting to, let me see if I can move to some better light. I don't even know what time it is, but maybe I can, give me just one moment while I readjust here. Earlier, the air conditioning was very loud here, so I would have sat here, but okay. Excellent point. Okay, I hope that has helped you, and of course, we can speak more to anyone that wants to speak and share their heart. If you don't have anything you want to write now in the comments, but again, those of you that are watching right now live, and even if you watch the replay, please post any questions that you have in the comments section, any place where you feel lost, confused, bewildered, whatever it is. How can I help you? Please share something. And then, Leela Sundari, did I answer your question to the degree that I could? Is there anything else you'd like me to elaborate on? Is there anything else you'd like support with? Please write in the comments. And then I'm seeing here, Prana Krishna, faith that it will be better following the regulative principles. Yes, and it's like, what will be better? And if this is the area where maybe you have experienced some struggle, right? We all have the potential, but we have our samskar, our karma, and sometimes we struggle with different things, right? Maybe anger, or maybe trauma, or maybe addiction, or maybe lust, or whatever it is. Okay, accept that. Don't shun it, don't diss it, don't hurt yourself, don't, consider yourself hopeless. But get a real compassionate perspective on it and begin to see how you have to be patient with yourself. Confident, enthusiastic, patient, humble, accepting, right? Humble. I struggle with this, or I desire this, and I don't know how this works with Krishna consciousness. I'm just going to be blunt and be real about this. it can all be harmonized. And so, if you can elaborate, Prana Krishna Prabhu, on what will be better following the regulative principles, please do so. And if you're going to type anything while you do, following the regulative principles, it's like, there is a recipe for success. And that recipe for success involves keeping at bay the thickness and density of the material vibration and the obstacles that can come. So following the regulative principles helps us to be less handcuffed, less chained by the never-ending cravings of the lower tendencies that are present within us, the demons within us, right? We are still uncovering layers of mundane materialistic tendencies. And I don't mean, like, when I say mundane materialistic tendencies, like, it's okay to desire a beautiful home or a lot of wealth, especially when you're like, oh yes, I'm going to use this in Krishna's service. I don't mean like, oh, you have this material desire. It's more the uncontrollable lower tendencies for considering ourselves powerful, the doers, the one that can manipulate material, right? That's why no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication, right? No meat eating. It's a way for us to not be so heavily influenced and clouded by heavier, denser energies. And so it is a very elementary ingredient list or recipe to prepare this vessel for receiving the higher frequencies, the more fine-tuned frequencies that an animal cannot wire, and allow them to come into our heart, right? Yes, an animal with a soul can hear the holy name, and that is benefiting them. But we as humans have the ability to make these connections and have these revelations and to see. And we can actually, break out of our cycles and transform and manipulate energy to some degree and create the life that we desire to some degree. And so the regulative principles, they give us an opportunity to have a nice, clean vessel for our up level, for our upgrade. So the more free we can be of the contaminants, of the debauchery, of the, lower planetary system culture, the more likely we're going to be able to fully comprehend and facilitate in our vessel the messages. It's not dependent on these things, We've heard that the regulative principles are small problems in comparison to the Kanak Kamani Pratista, which can become a whole lifestyle of destruction, right? Falling off, slipping off the blade and slicing yourself, right? Thinking yourself to be something, or getting drunk off the fame and the followers, or whatever, scenario. And so the regulative principles are a beautiful way to stay organized and clean and presentable for the transcendental sound vibration of the holy name and their lordships to sit within our heart. I remember being on a snowboarding trip with a group of friends. We were in Lake Tahoe, and they wanted to go to, one of the brothers of the friends really wanted to go to the casino to gamble. And I was like, oh my God, the last thing I want to do is be in a casino. And everybody wanted to go, and some people didn't want to go, and I was trying to accommodate my friend. I was like, okay, let's go, but 30 minutes only. I want a timer to be turned on the minute we step in the door, and I want that to count down, and I want to be out of there by the time that hits 30. And we did that. It was clear we did that. And I'm grateful because I had some interesting revelations. Walking into the casino and recognizing, oh my gosh, I am connected to Nityananda Prabhu and Gurudev. And I am walking into the gateway of the hellish planetary culture, or the culture from the hellish planetary systems. And I was starting to feel this like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm here. It's my responsibility to chant the holy name here. In my mind, even if I can whisper it or say it out loud. And so the whole time I was there, I was chanting. And right as I was thinking that, I was like, this is the environment of the demonic plane. This is the business of the demonic. I was like, and this is how they show up in the world. This is how they infiltrate. The world is through these fool's golds, like gambling, right? Oh, you're going to score, you're going to win something, you're going to da-da-da. Oh, intoxicate yourself, and, you know, just the whole thing, the whole experience. I could go on a whole story about that. But right when I was thinking that, I looked, and beneath the name of one of the clubs or restaurants inside the casino was the trident, you know, like the devil's like pitchfork, and these torches, and it looked very opulent. It was like on a marble wall with gold writing, like the opulence of the lower planetary, of the demonic plane, so intriguing and captivating. And right when I was having that thought, like all coming together, oh, this is the business of the devil. I was like, this is how the lower planet, and I turned and I saw that confirmation. And so it allowed me to have even some further insight into why we avoid certain things in our spiritual practice. And there's so much more I could say on that, but you know, we have to trust that our gurus are super agents, and the scripture are super agents and super protective weapons. They are our protectors, and the holy name, all these things are here to protect us. And because they know the ins and outs of this material world and the spiritual world and the subtleties that we don't even comprehend that are involved, they have created a special diet for us. And that special diet, we must have faith in it. What good, right, is temporary, short-term gain in comparison to long-term gain and long-term pleasure? And guess what? Long-term pleasure and long-term gain that you can experience in this lifetime when you connect with Krishna consciousness. So remember that the pleasures of this world, the so-called, are temporary. And if they come to you, it's because they're here to aid in your being an agent of spreading this holy name and engaging your heart in Krishna consciousness. So we saw in the example of Srila Acharya Maharaj, his use of everything available. And he built so many temples and maintained our India headquarters, all of our, India mission, and so many devotees, and nurtured them and nourished them. And all we can do is be in his example and try to be that. If there's anything we could imitate, it's them. Like again, Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, if you can just give ash. All we can do is simply imitate them, then let us at least begin there. I'm going to see what, I believe I started at 7. Usually I start at 7:30. So I started a little bit earlier today. I was a little disoriented because of everything that's taking place. But I would like to just share, that the pastimes with Acharya Maharaj have always been filled with adventure, with activity, with this feeling of like, I'm doing something, I'm engaged in this world, and I'm on a big mission. He really gave me that feeling as a teenager and young adult, traveling with him on the preaching programs, on the buses, in the Mott, and how humble he was also, and how confident he was also, and how bold he was also. His full personality was just 100% there in its full potential, being engaged. And even though sometimes he may have been harsh or like super blunt in a way that was like, ooh, he was just real to the core. He is real to the core. And his mood is one of unstoppable movement and effort and engagement in spreading the holy name and expanding the temples of our Guru Varga. And as Kali Yuga advances, we understand that our abilities to travel and even, locations, they will fall and disintegrate and whatnot, and so on and so forth. So guess what the temples are? The temples are our hearts, our vessels. We have these bodies and hearts, and we must continue to cultivate them, nurture them, and also serve the temples that are here. And I really think that that's all I have to say. I could tell stories about Acharya Maharaj and fun pastimes that I had with him and adventures that I experienced with him. And if that is something you would like to hear, please let me know, and I can perhaps share it next week or on another occasion this week maybe. And if I do share something this week, then we will post here a little bit ahead of time, even if it's just an image, letting you know that we will do another live stream to share those pastimes. But they're just fun stories and fun pastimes with him. And I really want to leave everyone here feeling that sense of commitment and urgency, and also confiding in each other with the hearts that are tender right now, and getting and seeking the support that you need for your heart, and quickly taking that support and moving it towards establishing your service connection, because that's what will keep us connected to our Guru Varga. So, not necessary to feel lost and confused there, necessary to quickly feel that connection and, reach out to your sannyasis and your leaders and ask for service connection. Start there and, fill your calendar with attending the classes and the darshans that are happening. Put darshans on your calendar or times in your schedule to watch previous darshans. Absorb everything you can about the things Acharya Maharaj said, and pray for additional revelations to come as you need them, as necessary for you personally to have your heart nurtured. But do what you can to really absorb as much as possible during this time. This is the medicine. If I were a doctor, I would be prescribing this. And obviously, please be safe. Please be careful. Please protect yourselves. And really pray as much as you can. He is here with you. He said it, believe it. And talk to him. Speak to him. Sit down with him and ask him questions. All of you. I guarantee you will receive answers, especially right now. So please take that seriously and make it your own. My Dandavat Pranams to all of the devotees. Thank you for hearing me. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please comment in the comment section below this video. Let me know how I can be of service. I will copy and paste. It's facebook.com/Vaidehi Amir. I have a fan page and I have my profile. Please message my profile. You can also email vaidehi108@gmail.com. I'll paste all of this here. And again, I just want to be of service to you and help you. You're not alone. And Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj ki jai. I may not know all the sannyasis because some new ones are here, but Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Kushum Ashram Maharaj, Srila Puri Maharaj, Srila Tyagi Maharaj, Sripad Tyagi Maharaj, all the sannyasis that are currently here and that have been, initiated by our Guru Varga and are here representing. There's more sannyasis that I don't know why I'm maybe not remembering everyone right now, but offering our respects to the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda, Vrindavan Purushottam Dham ki jai, Sri Navadvip Dham ki jai, Sri Mayapur Dham ki jai, Sri Eka Chakra Dham ki jai, Saprashad Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Srimad Mahaprabhu ki jai, and of course, shout out to Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari, and also to Gauranga Sundar in San Jose, California, and to Mahaprabhu in the home of the Russian devotees in Los Angeles, California. Let's bow our heads to all of the deities around the world, all of the temples around the world. Ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Kalindi Jamuna ji, Ganga Devi ki jai. Let's just offer all of our respects to everything we can think of. Do this on your own. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Nitai Gaud Premanande Hari Bol. I'm just going to sing a little Mahamantra. I do not have kartals with me, and please feel free to sing along, and if you need to go, please go, but just mini kirtan. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gauda Bhakta Vrinda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasari Gauda Bhakta Vrinda. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Gaura Hare, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare 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 Jaya, Gaura Hare, Guru Deva Jaya, 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 Acharya Maharaj Jaya, Acharya Maharaj Jaya, Acharya Maharaj Jaya, Acharya Maharaj, Shri Acharya Maharaj, Shri Acharya Maharaj, Shri Acharya Maharaj, Shri Acharya Maharaj. Hari Bol. Simple kirtan. Take a moment wherever you are. Please have your own kirtan and your own darshan. Go into meditation right now, please. I'm looking forward to seeing your questions and hearing from you, and I will see you next week, same time. This week, I don't know why I started at 7 p.m., but see you next week at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. What a time. My Dandavat Pranams to you all. I just could stay here. I just want to keep singing and chanting all night. I don't want to do anything else. So maybe I will go chant now as well. I've been thinking about how, it might be nice to maybe one day do like a little japa Zoom and do some japa together on Zoom. I wonder if you like that idea, and if Srila Janardhan Maharaj would like that. But let's see if we can do something like that. I wish we could all be together chanting right now. So let's separately but together do that. Good night again from Palm Springs, California. Please stay tuned to all the other live streams that are happening this week with Srila Janardhan Maharaj on Facebook, Bhakti Connect. And if you're in the WhatsApp group, there is a WhatsApp group where I think it's Bhakti Connect, yes, where they're constantly sharing all the links for all of the Zoom lessons all over the world, not just in Santa Cruz and the Seva Ashram. So that's a great way to stay connected if you can get on that. You can message the Seva Ashram Facebook page, and hopefully one of us can guide you there so that you can join that WhatsApp group. Okay. Again, Dandavat Pranams. Hari Bol. Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Krishna Krishna